man who fights crime, and we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time with John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Much like with Mr. Freeze, it took a snowman to melt her heart. Hello, Batmites! This is the Christmas/holiday. Are we calling it the holiday special now to be inclusive? I can't remember. We started doing that with Clueless.
Yeah. The non-denominational holiday special, yeah.
I'll probably end up just labelling it Christmas special out of habit. I apologise, listeners. It's the Bat Minute Christmas special/holiday special/ whatever the hell you want. We're here to talk about an exciting movie that as soon as we heard the premise, we were like we were on board immediately. Did it live up to that premise? We'll see.
We're gonna finger on the pulse here, weirdly, because like our last episode was like talking about Static Shock, which is a thing that nobody talks about anymore. So like we didn't have our finger on the button at all then, and now like Hot Frosty, #1 film on Netflix for a while there. Like everyone's talking about it. It's a big deal.
That's interesting to me because I just avoid all this kind of discussion, so I have no idea if it's successful or not. But two people who might are our special guests. As always, we have guests. As always, at Christmas, we have guests. Only the finest. First up, we've got, returning, of course, once again, it's none other than Jarf himself.
Would you like to fuck a snowman?
Don't tempt me.
Not to get into too many, spoilers for the rest of the episode. I really wanted to watch Lacey Chabert a snowman, and it didn't happen at any point. Yeah. I was outraged.
That's part that. As much as I liked it, I have a problem with that too. I do. And someone who I think may have even more of a problem with all of this movie is our other guest. It's Liz Whitaker.
Oh, hey, when you think of snowmen men that come to life or death or whatever, you think of me.
We do. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No one knows.
And also just you as a combo team. The last time you were both together was for Wild Mountain Time.
Where a man became a bee.
Yeah, Emily Blunt's having to deal with a guy who thought he was a bee, and now we're having to deal with a guy who he thinks he's a snowman. But to be fair, he legitimately is a snowman.
He is. You know what? As well, I just re-downloaded Wild Mountain Time the other day. So, and I forgot that you two were on that. So
I was going to say, was it to reminisce about recording with us? But no, you have to remember before you reminisce. So, okay.
That's it.
Glad we made such a great impression, John. Thanks.
I remember it being one of our finest moments.
I was genuinely panicked you were about to say, like, I don't even remember watching it. It's like, I thought I was going to watch this Wild Mountain Time movie. I heard so much about it. I was like, we did a whole thing on it.
How could anyone forget that? How could anyone forget this? Basic plot synopsis on IMDb says, Widow Kathy magically brings a snowman to life. His innocence helps her heal and find love again. They bond before the holidays, but he is doomed to melt.
It's got the whole premise has got that, I know you're familiar with it, John, but I don't know how much, Jarf and Liz, you're familiar with the Child's Play series with, Chucky the doll. And
that's not where I thought you were going with this, I'll be honest.
Just in terms of the fact that, like, so he's a snowman who becomes a human, but yet he seems to be, like, if it's too hot, he'll melt. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing in Chucky was like, yeah, he's going to be stuck as a doll, but yet sometimes, like, he seems to be, like, he bleeds and stuff, and then he's also, like, he seems to be kind of turning into a human doll, and you're like, wait, what is the mythology here? So
I think he's got the worst of both worlds, basically.
But in this, though, I was just confused because I thought, like, so as a snowman come to life, is he also still made of snow somehow? Like,
apparently he doesn't have a heartbeat, or they take
his temperature. It's 32 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's like if he were to bleed, would it just be like ice water?
Water?
Is that what's happening here? Like, does he have a heart at all? Is it just that it doesn't beat in there? So it's like, no, if you literally put your hand through his chest, it would just be like snow inside.
I'm a snowman. If you prick me, do I not melt?
Do I not leak? I guess.
If you put me next to an oven, do I not turn into a puddle?
Well, But though there was, there's obviously a tactical reason to bring both of you folks back because of the Wild Mountain Time connection. Liz, obviously, you were here last year as well for Jack Frost, where also devastated to learn out, looking at the IMDb listings, his name is Jack in it, but it's Jack Snowman. Rather than the obvious thing would be Jack Frost. But...
Yeah, but even calling him Jack was like an eye roll. Like, oh, for God's sake. But I mean that with love. I eye rolled and I thought it was fantastic. I'm like, of course he's Jack. Of course.
Yeah, of course you're not going to call him like Benedict or something.
Well, that wouldn't fit on the mechanic patch.
That's it. That's it.
So you told your listeners why you chose Liz and I, but why did you choose this movie? Why are we talking about this?
Lacey Chabert, because we just came off doing a lot of Batman animated fare, and Lacey Chabert did the voice of Zatanna in some of that animated fare.
Perfect connection.
Got
She
it.
also
my reason was because we did Jack Frost last year. And it's like, well, this is kind of the same, except he's hot, right?
Yeah. And also Lacey Chabert,
is
she was in that Cape Crusader show, not 2 months ago. She did the voice of Supergirl on, I think it was on Harley Quinn. She did the voice of Supergirl. So Lacey Chabert, she's deep in the DC Batman universe. So I think it's enough. I thought it was enough to be. And then,
Although, Liz, there, you made me think of a question that has to be posed before we delve in. Is he hot? Is he a hot Frosty? Now, I thought he was kind of cheesy handsome. Not my cup of tea, but whatever.
He was much more attractive in Schitt's Creek. Like, there's something about him in this movie that he's just got like, I don't know if it's the hair or the dumb smile, but his teeth look gigantic. He just looked more.
I have to say, because when I saw him, I thought he was very. Well, I didn't recognize him. I've seen 3 seasons of Schitt's Creek, and I didn't recognize him and one of my problems with Schitt's Creek is that as a show, I thought it didn't have enough bite. I watched it and I was just like, yeah, it's just very tame, and it's just not very it wasn't doing what I assumed it was going to do, and I just thought it was a bit and I know I'm going to step on some toes here because people love Schitt's Creek.
And what did you want it to do? Did you want a snowman to come to life?
Yeah.
I thought, though, because it sounded so similar and a base level premise to Arrested Development, I thought it was going to be a bit more like that. And then when it was its own thing, but it was just very wholesome.
Yeah.
I was like, they just end up getting on with the town folks pretty quickly, and everyone's just kind of nice to each other. I was just like, this is fine. It's not. I just kind of hoped for more, and so I ended up I really liked Emily Hampshire in it. I thought she was a great character. But then and one of the things though, because I remember the love interest to the sister, the doctor of the town, been oh, he's such a generic, handsome model of an actor. There's nothing to this guy whatsoever. He's so forgettable. And then discovering it's this guy.
Yeah, you forgot that he's actually a veterinarian, not a doctor.
Oh, there you go. But then in this, though, I actually thought he kind of popped a lot more. I don't know if it's just the hair been longer or it's just the character been a bit more memorable. But he was, I felt, very generic hot. But then that's what his problem in Schitt's Creek was, that he was generic hot guy. But in this, I think it's very purposeful that he's generic hot guy. So I thought he was a bit hotter. But Jarf, where do you weigh in on this?
I also did not like the hair, and it's the way that he acts that really puts me off the most. John, when you were giving the recap, there's something about his innocence.
Yes.
Teaches her to love again or whatever. I mean, he's not just innocent. He is a newborn.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was something I found that very strange. He comes across he learns quick. Yes. But he still comes across quite childlike. And I thought it was a bit strange that she was into him. It reminded me of Big.
He is the epitome of the golden retriever boyfriend trope.
Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack.
And also, because this is coming a mere year after, Academy Award nominated, everyone was talking about it last year, Poor Things with Emma Stone. And all the problematic things with that was like, well, she has the brain of a baby, and she's going around having sex, and a lot of people just really bumped into that. And that movie's a big surrealist sort of like cluster cuss of a movie and stuff.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And yeah, and then, so I was watching Hot Frosty. I was like, it's kind of like Netflix have made the Hallmark version of Poor Things.
Sold.
And
With
and
way
then I know,
less
Jarf,
sex.
as well. You forwarded on a video because there's a whole thing about the born sexy trope, and it dates back, like it goes back into the past. The whole concept.
Tell me about it. Born sexy. Oh.
Born
But,
sexy
yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
But like, it's merely one of the series of problematic tropes that are within the movie too. Like, because you start off, of course, with Queen of Christmas, Lacey Chabert, who I looked up because I noted in the past, because I used to dip into Christmas 24, was this called over here, and I noticed
your
that
favorite channel, isn't it?
now it's gone crazy. The Christmas 24 is on. It used to be a joke because it would get a little bit earlier each year when they would switch Movies 24 over to Christmas 24. And I always enjoyed laughing at the fact that, like, it's only November 15th and now it's Christmas 24. Now it's just that all year round. Like, it's just completely fallen into chaos over there. But I always noted when I did tune in, again, Liz, part of the reason you're also here is, of course, Lacey Chabert from Mean Girls.
Sure.
Gretchen Wieners. We're here to see her, this, snowman, if he's gonna frost her toaster strudel at any point. Spoiler: he doesn't.
I know, right? Let me just say this before you carry on. I'm saying this as someone who doesn't like sex in movies. I find it boring. This movie needed some sex.
Oh, they need. I've got a friggin' dissertation written on the things that this movie should have done. But of course, in Mean Girls, there's the very famous sequence of them doing the Christmas dance. So that's partially, Lacey Chabert's little Christmas connection.
I
But
wanted
Lacey
her to
Chabert-
start doing it at the middle school dance.
We get a very nice Mean Girls in joke mid film as well, which I was just like, I did the DiCaprio pointing at the screen bit when it happened. But
I went to high school with her.
Yeah. They would flip on random Lindsay Lohan movie, and then it's just like,
It's
that's
not a
exactly
random
what
Lindsay Lohan movie. It's a Netflix Christmas Lindsay Lohan movie.
Even better.
It was like her comeback movie.
Plus, Netflix like to create. They've basically got a Netflix Christmas cinematic universe. There's loads of Netflix Christmas movies, and they cross over.
Yeah, they talked about one of their. They had a Christmas Prince was a thing that was name dropped in there.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be the NCU will be the Netflix Christmas universe. They're coming for Hallmark. Apparently, there are inter-network wars going on, which I'll get into now actually, because Lacey Chabert, 42 years old. In her 42
really?
years.
She looks young. I mean this in a positive way. She looks younger.
Oh, no, it's so, fantastic. Not that 40 is old. Of course, even 37.
No.
40 is a very young age. But in her 42 years, she has starred in 22 Christmas-themed films.
Wow.
Which is quite amazing, because she's been in hundreds of things. Like, she's one of these people who's just like, it's kind of strange. I don't think over here she would be considered a household name. If you described who it was, people will be like, oh, no, I do know her. But I don't know if in America, because maybe Party of Five, where she kind of really got her start, was bigger. Like,
Nobody talks about her here either.
Really? Yeah, because it feels like she is kind of everywhere, but also no one knows who she is, kinda. Like, it's
But she's just a working actor.
Working, yeah, but so prolific, constantly working. Like, she has some of the things like she started off apparently on Broadway. She was a little cassette on the Broadway original run of Les Mis.
Oh wow,
which is pretty big.
Oh, I thought you meant
pretty big deal.
cassette, like a cassette player.
Cassette tape?
Like she was a cassette tape that came to life.
I thought that as well. I was like, is there like a Transformers on stage?
So someone came and put a scarf around a cassette, and it turned into Lacey Chabert.
And she came to life.
But then I think one of the things that she started getting into was Lost in Space, the 90s version with I was just going to flat out call him Joey Tribbiani.
Oh, Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc. Which I do remember, and I will stress again, this was era appropriate. I had a major crush on her back then because I was 10 and she was like 16 or whatever. But she was the daughter in Lost in Space. She had kind of Tim Burton-y gothic hair and stuff. I had a big thing for her back then. And then she was the original Meg Griffin on Family Guy.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they
forgot
changed
that.
it, didn't they?
Yeah. And then she was Eliza Thornberry in The Wild Thornberrys. And then she's just done an absolute ton of voiceover work. Like, you know, amongst other random things like, you know, of course, Mean Girls. She's in something called... I more noted this down because I had never made the connection before. She's in something called Being Michael Madsen. You know, Michael Madsen, the actor who's Mr. Blonde and stuff in Reservoir Dogs. Looking into the cast of that, and it's like, oh, it also co-stars Virginia Madsen from Candyman. And I was like, oh, are they related? I was like, no, Michael Madsen and Virginia Madsen are brother and sister. And I never knew that. I was like, how have I gone so long without knowing that I know those
Frosty
two actors
has brought something together.
creating miracles. But then, amidst all of this, of course, she did make 22 Christmas movies. She has a second Christmas movie out this year. Like,
Oh, but it's not going to beat this.
it's not going to beat this, but although it sounds like it's some kind of Indiana Jones, you know, bullshit as well. So I'll quickly speed through because I did write them out because I just wanted to. Starts in 1999 with We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Then she was in the first remake of Black Christmas that had Mary Elizabeth Winstead and whatnot. And also terrible, as was the recent remake. Just don't remake Black Christmas. I guess
Just watch the old one.
the original one, fantastic. She's in Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, which I consider to be, because that's basically. Are we all familiar with Ghosts of Girlfriends Past?
I've
Yep.
seen that one.
I actually think it's a pretty good movie. It's kind of in there at the cusp of the reconnaissance, because it's like a silly rom-com starring Matthew McConaughey, but I think he knew that it had a bit more fun to it, because like he's basically Scrooge looking back at his messed up relationships. But I just remember at one point there's a scene where Michael Douglas, as like the ghost, as the Jacob Marley kind of character, makes it rain used condoms at one point, which had been like, oh, so this movie has something to it if it's throwing in stuff like that, you know. But yeah, so I would count that as a Christmas movie because it's like, well, it's basically it's there, you know. Then it starts in earnest. The first of her Hallmark movies is Matchmaker Santa in 2012. Then Christmas Mingle, A Royal Christmas, The Tree That Saved Christmas, A Christmas Melody, A Wish for Christmas, The Sweetest Christmas, All I Want for Christmas Is You, co-starring Henry Winkler, which is a animated adaptation of the Mariah Carey song.
Incredible.
So she's a voice of Mariah Carey.
Yeah, and apparently it's dedicated to a dog. It's not a romantic thing. It's about baby Mariah Carey wanting a dog. Then she popped up in Christmas in Rome, Winter in Vale, Christmas Waltz, The Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas, Christmas at Castle Hart, Haul Out the Holly, Holly Out the Holly 2, Lit Up. These were notably written by Andy Sandberg, not Andy Samberg. I think it's a guy.
Okay.
A guy really riffing on there. It's like, oh, you put my name on that, and there's like smudge a letter in the middle. People will be like, Andy Samberg wrote this. Oh, I'll definitely sign off on that. And then yeah, she's in a Merry Scottish Christmas, Hot Frosty, and The Christmas Quest, which is some sort of thing about her having to go on like an Indiana Jones style quest for some form of Christmas artifact, I believe.
I'll watch it, but it's clearly not hot.
No, it's not gonna be. I will say though, she beats out Alicia Witt, who was also in many of these things. Alicia Witt, I thought was in like a million of these things. She's only in a mere 10 Hallmark.
Oh,
Christmas
is that
movies.
all? Only 10.
But she is still. She's neck and neck with one Dean Cain, who's also in 22 Christmas movies.
Yeah, but aren't it all like weird right-wing stuff, or am I thinking of Mario Lopez?
No. Dean Cain is bad Superman, bad evil right-wing Superman.
Yeah, I think his movies aren't necessarily right wing, but he himself. Although I think he's in like God is Not Dead, or whatever, so I think he is. Some of his movies are probably very right wing, but
Okay.
I believe the Christmas movies are at least sort of neutral at the very best.
All right, okay, I'd contemplate them then.
But
I'm a sucker for Alicia Witt, you know.
Oh, of course, yeah. But that's why I wanted. You need to get the three of these people into one big pot. You need to make the ultimate Christmas movie.
I don't know if the industry can handle it.
That'll be
Netflix
like
would crash.
their Infinity War.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
as like Dean Cain ends up like destroying half the universe. But in talking about the internetwork wars, though, so I was trying to look into like why is Lacey Chabert, who is Jewish, she's like a born and raised Jewish lady, but now she's like the queen. They literally call her the Queen of Christmas in a lot of places.
Well, the King of Christmas himself was Jewish.
I suppose that's true. That's
True.
Yeah. Look,
The reason for the season.
Yeah.
I guess there's this guy comes to life. He's kind of a carpenter in the movie as well.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that.
He's very Jesus coded.
Oh my God, he's Jesus. He's Jesus.
Friggin' Daryl from The Office had like put him in a cross in that jail cell at the office.
I couldn't believe it when it was him from The Office. And he was on form because he understood what this was.
Oh, he's
yeah.
100. I think everyone's 100% committing, but like, yeah, Craig Robinson and Joe Latroglio, who's the other cop.
I was just like, oh, is this a Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover?
Yeah, that was one of the big things. It's just like, oh, it's Boyle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, essentially playing Boyle again.
Yeah, exactly.
But now the Pontiac Bandit is his boss, which is just a really weird thing to see.
Craig Robinson was the only character that I cared about. I
Really?
really enjoyed that he wrote a theme song for the town. And
The best part of the movie was the end credits.
they were really good.
I thought his song was weirdly kind of melancholic though, and a kind of slightly sad vibe to the whole thing. It's sad and slightly sinister.
Tell you what, I connected with a lot of them. I actually liked a lot of I liked our main character here. I thought she was pretty cool. You know?
We should probably actually go through just so we all know where we're standing here. What did everyone just as a base level? What did everyone think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Where are we?
I watched this assuming we're gonna watch it because it's crap. And I didn't think it was crap. I actually thought it was competent. And in a way, that was to its detriment. Because I thought, I'm going to have some drinks, have a laugh. This is going to be stupid. We're going to make fun of it. But it was fine. It was all right. I laughed a few times,
And didn't get you the same way as Jack Frost, where you thought it was going to be crap and then you ended up crying in the middle.
I think I may have cried. I cry at everything. I think I might have cried at this movie. I think it might have been when you find out what happened to her husband.
There's a thing in that scene though that distracted the hell out of me. That we'll get to.
So yeah, I mean, it's weird. I actually thought it was fine. It was okay. I've seen worse. I've seen better. It's okay. I'd watch it. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. Of course not. But it was okay. At the same time, that then means, I wouldn't say put it on to laugh at it. It's kind of in a weird middle ground, right?
Yeah. Well, but Jarf, what did you make? Are you yay or nay on Hot Frosty? Are you not Frosty, or are you
hot or not?
I'm Frosty on Hot Frosty.
Wow.
So I'm a not. And John mentioned when you find out what happened to her husband. So you find this out early on that she's a widow. And this was the point that turned me against the movie. And, we're talking about 3 minutes in. So ride from there on out. But they introduce her and you see, okay, she doesn't have her shit all together. She needs to get the furnace fixed, but she keeps putting it off. And so all those things were okay, relatable. I
was about to use that exact word, relatable.
But then they show the picture of her dead husband, and it unwinds as the reason that she doesn't have her shit all together and she can't take care of her house, and basically she's a friend to everyone in the town, but she's not taking care of herself. It's because her husband isn't in the picture, and that turned me off. It's it kind of put me off. Just this idea that she needs the man around to be to fix up the house and take care of things.
There is that kind of trope, yeah. The fact, she kind of falls in love with Jack because, he fixed that stuff.
He fixed the hole in her stuff.
He's useful to me.
Yeah, and he did the shingles on the roof and stuff. And
well, it is nice when men aren't useless,
I think though they at least try to kind of address it at the end because his Christmas present over is like a handyman's book, so she goes and does it herself afterwards. But also the fact that she needed the guy to be like, just learn how to do it yourself. Like it was also kind of a little bit.
She obviously has the internet. Like,
I think it's meant to be that she's not doing it because she's depressed and things like this. But I agree, it looks bad when she only changes when another guy comes along.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think that's what they're trying to say, but it does kind of imply that maybe.
And they don't really sell her being depressed. Like she seems fine. She just, keeps looking at that Post-it that says call the HVAC company and keeps not doing it. And
Well,
then
she seems fine, but that's what you put on a face,
And
Well, the
also,
thing is,
just as a
she's a
PSA,
millennial.
don't get like a book to fix your furnace if it's broken. You call someone.
Yeah.
right. She spends, or he, on her behalf, spends thousands of dollars during this week or two or whatever he's in town. She obviously had the money for a furnace repairman. I think but she is a millennial. I don't like making phone calls. I get it. But she has a computer and the internet, or like a friend, and it's like, hey, can you just make this phone call for me?
Yeah. There was some kind of things where I was confused by, like, at the end they had to have a whole big like, well, we need $2,000 to get him out of jail. Oh, I don't have it in the till. Oh, we're not going to be able to do it. I don't.
No. She didn't even check the till. She probably did.
But at that though, she's like, yeah, we just don't have the money, so all the town have to chip in to get him out. And then, like, I guess you're supposed to assume like the Christmas gifts they give to each other, like in the epilogue, are the same. It's the same Christmas. So it's like, she had the money to book them tickets to Hawaii. So clearly she had $2,000 just lying about. Like, yeah, what the hell? Like, why is she getting the townspeople to chip in? She's like, well, if I go to like the bank, I get, or if I ATM, like, if she got the money out of the till and I was like, I don't have enough, I'll just go to the ATM. I'm sure I've got enough to do it.
It's
Or I'll
right
write you a
outside
check.
the door.
Yeah.
They just wanted to reference It's a Wonderful Life, goddammit.
Yeah, so you could just chip and pin it, or I'll write you a check, or like whatever. But she clearly had the money to get the guy out, But the whole thing, though, with Craig Robinson is just like, why is he such a dick to him? Oh, we'll get into all that, I guess, down the line, because he's so unnecessarily horrible to this guy.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's one of those weird things where, because it's such a small town, where nothing happens, now that something is actually happening, he's like, oh, I can be a cop.
Yeah, he really,
Great.
He really wants to, like, be able to be the Flex's.
Well,
I think
he's
he feels
been
a little
stripped of his sheriffship, and he's trying to get reinstated. So he has to prove that he can do police work so that he can get his title back.
Well, here's a question from me as an ignorant English person. I could just Google this, but I've never understood from watching movies, what is the difference between a sheriff and a police officer?
A sheriff is a county position and not a city position.
Okay.
So they
So
are
separate ones. That's confusing. Okay.
Yeah, and they typically have a broader jurisdiction than than a police officer would.
Interesting.
And
I
other than
assumed
that,
in my
not that-
head it would be the other way. Okay.
no.
No,
And a
'cause
different
typically
hat.
Different. Well, that's one thing I have noticed. Very different outfit.
They usually wear brown rather than dark blue or black. I'm not sure the significance of that, but it's jurisdictional. So it's like if you're a sheriff, you have jurisdiction in the entire county that you're the sheriff of, and whereas like a police officer is just that actual locality. So like the reason you see sheriffs in small towns a lot is because they don't have a city large enough to support a single police force. The entire county supports a sheriff's department.
That's interesting. That's quite cool. Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming it's all a legacy of how the United States was founded. States are essentially countries.
And what we use police to do.
Yeah. Well, we won't go there. But I mean, ours are bad enough. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But Liz, though, like, what was your opinion though of the film overall? Were you Frosty and Hot Frosty, or were you not Frosty, or were you hot to trot Frosty?
Hot for Frosty.
It's an insane scale.
I hated it.
You sincerely hated it.
There was almost nothing redeeming about it except for the end credits.
Holy moly! So like, in a scale to like Jack Frost, you would go like, oh, Jack Frost is way better.
I would
than
rather
this.
watch Jack Frost.
Wild
Listen.
Mountain
That's 'cause
Time. Would you
Jack
say
Frost
Wild
was
Mountain Time was
epic.
better than this?
Listen, I have been known to enjoy a cheesy Christmas movie. Right? Like that. I get it. I know what the genre is. I know what it's doing. This one did nothing for me. For starters,
Oh.
Kathy's a bad friend.
I'm gonna have to put it down to you, Liz. Drawn back on one of your other hiatus episodes. This or Halle Berry's Catwoman, which better?
Oh.
Which was better?
I would rather watch Catwoman again.
Oh,
Well,
wow. Okay, that is big.
Actually, to be fair, I'd rather watch Catwoman because Catwoman is freaking bonkers. to be
Bonkers,
fair.
right?
So,
At least weird shit's happening.
yeah.
like-
I think that's the problem with this, right?
It's
it
not-
should be more bonkers,
It
right?
Yeah.
should be more bonkers. It's not bonkers enough. It's so tame. They have no chemistry. Kathy's a bad friend. The middle school of this town lets this random man without any credentials or any background check work with children directly. And the
but he's
principal's
hot.
just like, hey, this is great.
Yeah, he's a
And
drifter
then-
with the mind of a child.
And then when they get him out of jail, the entire town just stands there and lays him in the cold fake snow and basically watches him die and is like, well, whatever.
Yeah. At one point, they're gonna walk away. It's like, are you just gonna leave the dead body just in a
And
snow
all they
drift?
do is take the scarf away. They're like, well, can't leave that with that corpse. like,
Let's see what else.
Oh.
What else can we bring to life with this?
And then-
scarf?
and then they're like, oh, here, I got you some plane tickets. How is he getting on a plane, Susan? How? This
No,
man,
that's a good point. He hasn't got a passport.
he doesn't have a driver's license. He doesn't
He
have,
has no ID.
he has no state ID. He has no birth certificate, no social
He has no
security.
fingerprints.
He has
He's like-
no fingerprint. He doesn't exist. How are you flying him to Hawaii, Kathy?
You've got to imagine this is a pre 9/11 film where
she
you could
has
just get
an
on a plane.
iPhone.
I will say that my major problem with it was that like I thought it was very watchable and enjoyable. 98% of it was enjoyable because of Craig Robinson and Joe Latruglio. Like they I think they hired them to give it a bit of a boost. They were like,
Okay.
we
See,
need
I liked our lead fella here. What's his name? I'm terrible with names. Jack.
Dustin
something.
Milligan. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was the best thing.
But like I think it much like Schitt's Creek, and much like looking into the director, he did work. He's a TV guy, and one of the things he worked on popped out to me because he did a show way back in the mid 2000s called Being Erica, and I remember Being Erica. Is anyone else familiar with?
Was
Being
that
Erica?
No.
like a ghost that came back as, or I don't know.
It was in that era of like a lot of high concepts. Like it was like Wonder Falls, where it was like, oh, Calendar Heaven has like little rubber animals talk to her, and she goes off, and it's a comedy show. And there was a lot of like Ghost Whisperer was out at that time, and that kind of thing. And Being Erica, I remember it was like, oh, she meets a psychiatrist who can then transport her back in time. So anything she regrets, she can change, and she goes back into her old body. But I remember it being like, oh, that's a kind of interesting concept. And then they called the character Erica Strange, which I was like, ugh, it's
Okay.
a bit too on the nose. And two, it was just like, it's good concept, good actors, but way too tame and bland with the concept. Like it wasn't hitting there. Like
Because
Schitt's
it's
Creek,
like Quantum Leap, but it's only your own life.
yeah. Or like Schitt's Creek, where I was like, oh, this is going to be like a biting satire about class struggles and stuff. And I was just like, no, it's just like Eugene Levy just ends up getting on with the town really well. And everyone just sort of likes each other. And it's nice. And you're like, I guess that's okay. And this was just very much like, I was in there for like, I saw that poster and I was like, Lacey Chabert fucks a snowman. Let's go. Like, let's
Right?
get
Yeah,
into
I
this.
thought it was going to be like The
That's
Shape
not
of
how
Water.
that's not how Christmas movies work.
Yeah, but it
I am
seemed like
learning
it
that.
would. I
yeah.
agree.
I thought it might have been clumsy enough though, because she's been in Lacey Chabert. I think they cast her very selectively because they're like, well, she is the Queen of Christmas. This is how you lure in the Hallmark crowd.
Yeah.
Because one of the things actually apparently I alluded to there earlier that there's been like inter-network wars. Apparently Hallmark quite recently had many people like jump ship to go to like the Great American Family Network. Apparently, it was a little
Yeah,
Hallmark.
because
I
Hallmark
don't know what
wanted
that
to
is.
show LGBTQ families.
Oh, there you
Oh
go.
no! So the Exodus was like a bigoted thing.
Mhm.
Oh, because apparently Lacey Chabert has sworn allegiance to Hallmark. So I guess it means that she's pro-LGBT at least. But and they're like in exchange for having a more powerful position, they said. So she's tightening her grip on Hallmark.
She's taking control of the network.
It's like, I will make a new Christmas movie, one stronger and more powerful.
More powerful.
Where black people are allowed.
So remember
That's cool though. I like that because I mean, I think one of the best Christmas movies I've seen in years was a queer movie, Happiest Season.
Yeah. And I remember that came out, and then that had a bit of an edge to it. And then Hallmark also had that one with we call it Alyssa Bauman that I watched, and it was the same. It was just like a Hallmark Christmas movie. The two main characters just happened to be two women, and that was the romance. And I was like, oh, this is nice. This is a nice thing to see. And then the more you watch it, you're like, oh, this is still just like a really generic, boring Hallmark movie. They just happen to be.
Yeah, it's the same formula, just two ladies.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the difference with Happiest Season was. It was generic in its structure and everything, absolutely. But it wasn't basing itself on a Hallmark movie. It was basing itself on an actual Christmas movie.
Yeah.
By actual film studios.
But this thing was so like, oh, so we got a kind of premise. We got the actress. We got like someone to give it a bit of comedy cred. Like Craig Robinson's like he doesn't sleep on things. Like him and Joe Trujillo, very talented comedy actors. So getting them in is like, oh, they'll boost the material. But then they just didn't really do anything with it. They didn't have a funny sex scene.
Yeah,
they didn't
because
have any.
Lacey Chabert can't stay the queen of Hallmark Christmas if she does that, though. Like, this is her bread and butter. This is her audience. They don't want to see it. They want the horny old ladies. Like, they just want some man chest.
There's a lot of chest going on and
Yeah.
abs.
You worry if like if Lacey Chabert does something to upset the Hallmark, people, they'll just
It's
say
very look, don't touch.
Yeah, they'll just be like, you can't sit with us if she
Right.
does that. And yeah,
Well, see, I don't want to sound too crude, but I wanted a scene where he, how do I word this? He enters, and it's too cold.
Yeah, that was I was like, God, that's going to be a real cold fuck. But like,
Yeah.
I also knew I wasn't going to see it because I'm not new here.
I at least wanted a reference to it, though, or something about him. Like, she's really trying. She's really trying because he's so hot.
yeah.
And he's very cold.
Supposed to be about love, though. And to the people that really want to watch this stuff, love comes before sex. That's what you have to remember. There's no
I'm
sex
one of those
without
people. I agree.
Well, okay. But love, like deep marriage level love. You got to remember that a lot of the people that are the core audience for this don't believe in sex before marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see that's nuts to me.
Even with the
So-
snowman who's going to melt away.
Exactly.
Like you have a short window with the snowman. Like you gotta fuck him while you got the chance.
Maybe
But
that
like
actually would have made the
would
movie.
he have died sooner? Because that would have been some stakes.
If there's any friction, he's just like, oh no, I'm melting.
She would have just melted him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been like some Twilight level stuff, though. Like where she's like,
It's
They're
like
gonna have
forbidden
sex, but-
lust.
but Edward, if he has sex with her, he might kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they keep talking about. Oh, he might go so feral. He kills her during the
Also,
sex.
if you can successfully have sex with this guy, you'll never get pregnant because presumably he's just squirting ice water up there. But is he?
Oh no, that would be.
It would
Is
also
that
be.
worse?
I mean, but I think it would also be like just the physics of it don't work. It wouldn't work, right?
That's the thing,
I
because we don't know.
I think we need to broaden our mind beyond, a phallocentric approach to
Yes.
sex. They could figure out a way. I
Oh
believe
yeah, I'm
it.
sure they could have tons
There's
of fun.
always a way. Always a
But
way.
it sprawls out into other things though, because we do see him eating. Does he poo? Does he
What happens
pee?
to the food?
What happens to the food?
Yeah.
Like one of the best scenes that I have to say that genuinely did get a good laugh out of me is when he's too hot in the diner and he orders the glass of ice and Craig Robinson comes in.
Oh my god.
And he thinks
that
he's
was
having a
incredible.
kind of a macho head game with him where he's just chewing ice, and then Craig Robinson starts like aggressively chewing ice as well. And then he's just like, "Are you finding it hot in here, mister?" And then the snowman's like, "Yes, this guy gets it." And he's just so like wholesome and like, "I just want to be this guy's friend." I thought that was a genuinely really funny scene.
Oh yeah, there was multiple moments I laughed out loud. That was one of them. And I'm someone who crunches on ice. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But-
so
Ugh,
I was like,
I hate that
I
sound.
don't-
One of my coworkers does that. Ew. Kate,
To
you
be
know
fair-
who you are.
To be fair, I don't think I'd do it around people.
I think I remember like with some of my friends' kids, like little Killian, baby roommate of
Baby roommate.
That Minute Lore. He just chews on ice cubes and stuff because it's just he
It's
just likes
nice.
it. But that scene though makes it indicate like, oh, so he's just trying to cool down. But also it's like if they made it so he only eats ice, I'd understand that. But we see him eat other stuff.
No, but they think about it though. I thought this was actually quite clever when he makes a pizza. I was like, well, how's he going to eat that? They thought about it. He's like, yeah, I've had to put mine in the fridge.
So I
But I was
think
like,
that
oh,
I
okay.
think he's human. He's just a cold human. He's
Basically,
not.
he's
He's
chill.
not made of snow.
But he's melting sometimes.
But so
I-
is
oh,
he
jeez.
is he pooing like frozen poo? Is he peeing ice? Like what's happening? Like with this guy?
Yeah, you'd think if he was
fixated on
like,
this.
if they were trying to say like the melt water was actually sweat, then he'd actually be really hot all the time, not really cold. Because like I sweat a lot, and because I'm hot.
Yeah.
What? If you do say so yourself, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, there's like,
I'll
also
say it
the
if
fact,
no one
too,
else
like-
will.
So here's another thing too, because I feel there's so many like you could make 6 sequels to this just to try
Oh,
to
yeah.
expand on the hot Frosty lore.
Oh, I 100% think that they should and they will.
Oh, they
They
definitely will. But this time next year, we will be back reviewing Hot Frosty 2, Hot to Trot. You know, or Hot goes to Europe or what? He has to rescue Santa Claus or something. I don't know. There'll be some bullshit about it. But
Or
Well,
we
Jarf
could
flies
talk.
out of
Or we could talk about A Very Nutty Christmas, which is Melissa Joan Hart as a cookie baker, and the Nutcracker toy comes to life and helps her
Oh, I'm sold already.
I'm
We
already
better
worried
bake
though,
a thousand
about one
cookies.
yeah,
because
considering
bakery.
Melissa Joan Hart was in the season we just completed there for Return of the
Yeah.
Joker, that actually probably should have been the movie we're reviewing instead.
Right?
We're doing that next time.
Well,
Yeah,
next
next
year you've already picked the movie. It's sold.
Yep. Next time, baby. But like, just even getting into, okay, so I've got so many alternate titles for this because, like, yeah, Hallmark's Poor Things. I've got the Rocky Horror Christmas Show because basically he is Rocky Horror, this guy. But also,
Yeah.
it's kind of like The Last Action Hero, which also made me think, like, if they did a version of this where she brought Snowman to life and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that was the movie, that would
Yeah.
be so much better. I would,
Yeah, but Arnie's not hot.
isn't he?
No, we established this on that
Yeah.
season, Niall.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, but I still don't believe it. I won't.
I'm sure some people like
I want to
Arnold.
go
That's
back and
fine,
open
that's
up the
fine.
books again. We're going back into it.
But this guy's like cheesy model hot, right? His veins are popping, and
Yeah,
I suppose
it's
Arnold's are
it's
too.
2024. Like we're doing Golden Retriever hot now.
Yeah.
Like
You
that's
could
where we
see
are.
Arnie coming out.
Not
as the-
super macho hot. That nobody wants that. Nobody wants the alpha.
Oh, he came back. He was just doing a lot of Mr. Freeze lines again, though. But it's just modern day Arnie, just like, yes, do not put me in the. Oh, the Craig
I
Robinson's
actually
like, oh,
would
you're getting
watch
arrested, buddy. He's like, do not put me
You
in
know
the
what?
cooler.
I would watch Craig Robinson and Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Oh,
Would
yeah,
do.
him.
Would watch.
Yeah.
Craig Robinson in like as Chief O'Hara in like a 60s Batman revival where it's just like and Batman's not even a character, it's just Chief O'Hara trying to hunt down the Gotham villains.
Yeah.
But so
And it's
one,
Christmas all year long.
Christmas, they have this Lacey Chabert's life, I guess. It's just like that's all I ever see is Christmas. But so okay, one, I also had down, oh, it's a bit like The Last Action Hero because she comes into who I had noted down as not Callista Flockhart because I thought it was Callista Flockhart for a second, but she's a little bit older than Callista Flockhart would be. I was also trying to work out if she was because Lauren Holly from Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey's ex, Lauren Holly, is in this movie. I can't work out if she's that lady.
What
or
a
if she-
crime
she's
that
not.
that's how you
She's
refer to her.
she's the dirty old lady with the car
That
accident.
was she was the other one. It's like is it her or
That's
her? And
Lauren
then-
Holly.
And then looking up the names of the IMDb, it's like, oh, I didn't remember the names of the characters, so this isn't going to help me at all.
Mel is the one at the clothing shop because it's reused rags or revitalized rags or whatever with Mel and her husband.
Right. Okay. Those two, were they magical? Because they're the ones that gave her the scarf very pointedly. It's like, I found this scarf the day I met my husband, and now I'm giving it to you so you can meet your special man. And she's like, I'm not ready.
Bitch gives it away to a snowman.
Yeah,
that's a terrible
leaves
thing
it
to
in
do.
the streets, basically, is what she did.
Yeah.
Like, when that snowman eventually melts, who's
She's
going to
like,
clean up the
oh,
scarf?
thanks for this really thoughtful gift. I'm going to leave it here like trash.
Yeah.
Although it made me think, actually, there, Jarf, that like that guy, what's his name? The guy who works at the shop. Is he a snowman?
Right. Yeah. See, and because
Everybody
after
was
she
really
gives
quick.
the scarf,
Is this a snowman town? Everybody was
could
so
be.
quick to believe that he was a snowman.
And it's like
Is
Alicia
this town-
Chabert finds out at the end, it's like Blade Runner. She's like, am I a snowman as well?
Well, that's actually one of the things that I both love and didn't like about the movie, all at the same time. The way, in fact, she even says this. There's a line where she goes, you all just buy that he's a snowman. And they go, it's Christmas.
Yeah. But
Okay,
I would love if they
so-
went more into just like
Yes, make
have
this
it-
like a weird sci-fi show. Sci-fi Christmas where really like half of the people in the town are just created entities by
Right.
sad, lonely people. It's like
like the Stepford
WandaVision
snowmen.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, like that show.
Well, that seems to be the implication, right? Because they give her the scarf, saying, oh, well, you know, I used this scarf. I found the love of my life. And they give her it, and they, you know, there's a little look in their eyes, like they know what's going to happen.
But that would make more, because that, you know, no offense to her husband, but he looks like he would be more of a generic snowman. Like he's got that kind of body type. And then if you had anything like, you know, maybe because we never find out who crafted that snowman.
Who
That's my
crafted the
favorite-
hot snowman?
My favorite review on Letterboxd literally said that. I've written it down here. It's by a user called Sarah. That's all she's called. And it simply states, asks, okay, but who amongst the Hope Springs community built the hot guy snowman in the first place?
Surely then, at the end,
And maybe
you'd
that
have...
person just went home to get their magic scarf and were like, hell yeah, I created this hot snowman for me to fuck. Well, and this bitch comes along with her scarf first, and now
That would
all
be-
of my hard work
What-
That would
is
be
for
great.
That's
nothing.
the sequel. That's the sequel right there. The creator of the snowman comes along and goes, hey, I made him for me.
Yeah. Oh, then you get
then they
there's
have
your
to fight.
Frankenfurter character from Rocky Horror. It's like Tim Curry shows up like, I didn't make him for you.
Make him for you.
But then you get in Lindsay Lohan. Maybe she's the rival, and she's like, no, I'm the nefarious evil snowman creator. And she's like, no, I made this man to be my love slave.
Yeah.
And now you've given him like sentience, and he's also now like a free thinker and stuff. And you're taking him to Hawaii. How the hell's
And you
gonna
let
get on
him
a
have
plane?
the
What's going on?
internet.
Yeah.
But no, it's insane. Like, again, though, I think that's their kind of thing because they're just like, who cares? But it is like, surely by the end, you think a natural third
It
act
should have
thing
been
would be-
Santa.
A natural thing would have been like when they're going around like, oh, he is the not the reincarnation, just the carnation of that hot snowman that everyone saw in the like. I presume if they were doing an award, he won the award because he was clearly the best crafted snowman. But surely someone should be like, yes, my creation, my abomination has been brought to light. Like, have a Frankenstein character there. To be like,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's like, yes, you can't. Like, I have created life and all this. It's like, oh, I
Create
created
a
life by putting the
real
scarf on.
villain.
Ah. That's the sequel right there. The sequel's going to be better.
Yeah, the sequel, and it could be, you could have Craig Robinson play that guy, but it would be a bit more higher stakes than like, why is this guy so determined to just lock up this one
We
dude?
have
It's
to
so
hide
stupid.
you from the cops.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it. Don't turn people into. If you see something, no, you didn't. But I don't think that's the kind of anti-cop propaganda we were getting in this film.
Yeah. It's just
I don't know. The other cop was quite nice though. What's his name? You're good with names now.
oh, there's no deal. I don't know his character name, but it's Joe DiLutruglio from
Yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah,
Nine-Nine. Yeah.
He was quite nice, and he had one of my favorite parts as well, where you know they're having their moment together. They end up dancing. Actually, they have a nice little dance, and they have like a super gay moment between the two of them. They almost kiss and everything. But he says to Jack, he's like, "How have you never been on a date before? You're a 10, man."
Yeah. Although it's so apparent that he is a 10. It's just like, oh, I think anyone would say that to him. So it's like, dude, you're clearly like, just look at that bod. Like, it's insane, you know? But like, I think he got my my favorite line of the whole movie, too, when like, they know there's been a streaker around, and Craig Robinson is like, he suspects the mayor at one point. And he's just like, I don't think it was the mayor. He's got a bad hip. I mean, he got him right out of it.
There's quite a few good lines, I think. I mean, I could list a million of them. I've written them all down. One of my favourite ones is actually later on, where he goes to the dance, because he's working at the school.
Of course.
And
Which is not
invited.
problematic at all. We're fine with it. We're all fine.
It's a bit strange, right? It's a bit. Not only is he working at the school, not only is he going to the dance. Okay, he's a chaperone. He brings a date. I don't think your chaperone's supposed to bring a date.
Oh
But
no,
okay,
No, you're
that
supposed to-
happens.
Really? Don't you have to
Yeah.
stay focused on the kids and like
I would think
making
so,
sure they don't
right?
have sex?
Well, you're not supposed to like go on a date, but a lot of like teachers will bring their spouses or whatever.
But wouldn't they just be bored?
Yes.
If I was the spouse, I would
Yes.
be like, I'm absolutely not attending that. I'm sorry. But he
Sometimes out of love, you do a thing that's
Yeah.
boring because your spouse has to do it too. That's love.
true. That's true. I've done it many a time. But there's a great bit where he's talking to that kid he's made friends with, who it turns out is the son of the sheriff.
Oh, yeah. They throw that in at the last second, too. Like, oh, yeah, I'll make that kid his son, too. why not?
Yeah, I didn't put that together.
I didn't either.
And then when it was a reveal, I was like, oh, right, because he's the only other black guy. Okay, great.
I think they didn't put it together until they were on set. They're like, oh, yeah, make him his son. Yeah, that'll work.
But it's great when they're having their conversation and he's like, I'm a little nervous because I brought a date to the dance. And the kid's like, which one is she? And he's like, she's right over there, the adult.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too, but also you're 3 days old. So
Yeah.
what are you talking about? They're so
Very true.
like inconsistent with what he knows and understands and what he doesn't.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
the fact
he'll
that
be-
he just knows English. Like, he just, like,
Well, yeah.
if they put the scarf on
I was
him,
like, he talks?
yeah, if they put the scarf on him in, like, Norway, would he speak Norwegian? Like, what's...
Yeah.
It's just, it'd be fair enough if it'd be like, we saw him much like Frankenstein's monster, like, he was in a barn or something, and then he could hear people through the wall. Or maybe, I guess maybe because he's in this town center, he hears people talking all the time. Because
That's it. He's
Yeah,
a
but
quick
that was
learner.
just for a couple of days. And
Yeah, but he's a
and
quick
he'll
learner.
at one point act like, what is a spoon? How are you spooning your food? And
Yeah,
then,
and he'll
oh,
eat
I
jelly
looked at the
packets.
internet and I know how to be a roofer. No.
Which
I
are in
watch
demand at the
television.
moment in England, because here in England at the moment we're in the middle of a crazy storm that's destroying everyone's houses. Roofers,
Yeah.
they're in high demand. You should come to the
Build
UK.
yourself a snowman, John.
Yeah. Oh,
Get the
there
right
you go.
scarf.
I'll keep looking out the window for some snow. We had one day of snow. Where's the rest of the snow? Damn it! I need a sexy snowman to fix my roof.
I would say, though, when he is in snow form as well, it would be, of course, it was within Batman's remit to point these kind of things out when we see them.
I know what you're going to say because I have a note on this.
It's
Go ahead.
got a beautifully crafted snow god, and they made sure to put nipples on him. as
Yep.
well.
Not just nipples, very pronounced areola.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So whoever in the town made that snowman, was a lot of. They must be
was
kind of like
crafted with
devastated because
care.
they're just like, that was like I spent like days making that thing, and like now
Yeah,
he's
they're
just
like
gallivanting off of Lake Geneva.
snow sculptor Michelangelo.
Yeah,
Wouldn't the sculptor assume when they come along and it's not there anymore, some jerk kid has destroyed it?
oh, there's something, and then that should have been. There you go. There's a plot line for Craig Robinson. Someone comes in. It's like, someone destroyed my snowman. He would be all over
Yeah.
that. It's like, oh, we've got vandals. Someone destroyed that masterpiece snowman. And then him realizing as it goes on, like, oh Christ, I think the guy I'm hunting is the snowman.
The streaker and the
Oh, my
snowman
God.
are the same person.
You could make
Well, presumably as well, someone crafted snow cock and balls, right?
No, they didn't though, because if you notice, they're not finished carving the lower part of the torso.
That's why they.
He's like-
Surely wouldn't they have noticed that in the streaking incident? I don't know.
No, the scarf crafted that magically.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, the devastation too
It's
of the
part-
crafters.
it's part
just
of
like,
the scarf
but I wasn't
magic."
finished. And then well, then you inevitably have the scene of Lacey Chabert and him, getting amorous. And then she's just like, but there's nothing down there. He's like, I know.
He's
I
a
wasn't-
Ken doll. Yeah.
But the thing is, though, if it was because we never see him take the scarf off. Even in they have the old classic rom-com dress montage where they go and get him a suit, and he tries on loads of really good outfits, and then he settles on the most generic one, which was very.
And they even play the song "Pretty Woman"
Yeah,
because they're doing the Pretty Woman montage.
I was a little bit offended because he tries on the guy who's helping them out has this really nifty pink flower jacket.
It's a
Oh, that's
poinsettia
really-
blazer.
Yeah, and so he
It's
puts that on.
perfect.
Jack likes it. The guy likes it. Lacey Chabert's like, no, I want you in the most generic looking tux imaginable. It's like,
Women, eh? Oh.
but,
That jacket was fantastic.
oh yeah,
It
but
was
he
good.
would have, and it would have suited his personality so much more as well.
Oh, it would have been so perfect.
But
In fact, her buying that suit, though, ties into something you said before, Niall. I think it was you anyway. I can't figure out her, like, finances,
yeah,
right? She seems to have unlimited funds when it matters.
yeah, I thought there was again another movie, potentially a better movie, would have been like she can't get this house fixed up because she can't afford it, and then
Yeah, because her partner's gone, so now she's But this cafe she runs seems to produce millions of dollars.
Yeah. Everyone goes
it's-
there.
She's doing fine financially.
yeah, but you could have been a thing of like, oh, like, it's not. It's just like, maybe again she's too charitable or something like so.
She's
she'll,
just too sad, guys.
yeah.
Her
That's it.
heart is just so frozen over. She's just so sad.
She needs a
slightly-
snowman to melt her heart.
It's a slightly worse version of again another Christmas rom-com with a magical love interest. The one that's a little bit better, still not great, but Last Christmas with Emilia
Yeah.
Clarke, wherein like
Better than this.
I think it's a little bit better than this. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much better.
Wait, what's the magical premise of that?
Well, the thing I don't want to. Are you aware what
It's-
Last Christmas is, Jarf? Do you know what the pitch is?
I remember people talking about it, but I have not seen it, and I don't. But I don't care if you spoil it. Honestly,
so
I've
here's-
seen this I'm good for the season with Hot Fuzz.
That's all you need.
It's based on the music of Wham, and so Last Christmas, Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart, and Emilia Clarke, she's a character who works in a Christmas store, and her life's a wreck. But it's one of those things where she's supposed to be like this slovenly, unhealthy, just like completely adrift woman. Still looks like Emilia Clarke, so absolutely stunningly beautiful, and you don't believe it for 1 second.
Yeah.
But she meets this guy who no one else ever sees and stuff. And one of the reasons she's depressed is because she's recently had like open heart surgery. She had to get a heart replacement. And then as the movie goes on, she falls in love with this guy. And then at the end, you realize that the guy is like a ghost. And he's the guy who gave her.
He literally
His heart.
gave her his heart last Christmas.
It says, last
Oh
gift
my
is, I gave you my heart. But though the very next day, she doesn't give it away, though. It just kind of falls apart right there. But that was the whole thing. That was
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
No, it's so it's sad like that. But the execution is more enjoyable.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I think like Emilia Clarke, you don't believe that she's a wreck because she just looks like Emilia Clarke, and like she's so unhealthy and she just drinks too
But
much.
she is kind of a mess, and she's having a hard time. She's adrift. She's having a hard time figuring out what she wants to do with her life, and
I think her performance conveys it more, and the writing really sets up that she is a wreck, like she is completely adrift.
she makes some bad decisions. And Michelle Yeoh is her boss at the Christmas store,
Yeah, and her name is
Oh, I
Santa
love
until you find
and
out that
that's amazing.
yeah.
I find Henry Golding much more attractive than whatever this golden retriever man is.
Oh, really?
Okay, but that's perfect because now we have our third magical Christmas presents
Yes.
character. So now we can play MFK Holiday Edition. So
it just made Jarf's world.
you made my day.
Oh my
So
God, no, what have you done?
MFK, snowman turned to life,
Nutcracker,
nutcracker turned to life, or
heart
ghost
donor
of
ghost.
your organ donor.
To me, that's actually easy. To
Okay.
answer. You marry the snowman because he's so sweet, he's so lovely, he's so cute.
He's so handy around the house.
He's handy around the house. You fuck the nutcracker. I mean, the clue's in the name. And then you
mean,
can
like, what
kill
do you
the
think
ghost. The
is-
ghost's already dead.
And you've
Get rid of the
already
ghost.
killed the heart donor.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Although the Nutcracker is like, well, what kind of stuff's he into? Like, Was he
CBT,
stepping on you? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, he's into a bit of kink, which is fine for like a an occasion. But you might not want to marry that,
I'll give like the ghost in Last Christmas. He is a very charming character, I would say. He has a couple little phrases that even stuck with me. I was like, oh, he's got a good outlook on life, even though he's dead. This guy. I think Last Christmas is one I've watched several times. I think it's decent. It's decent. But
okay, you've won me over. I watched it once, never again. This Christmas. In fact, before you hear this, listeners, I will have rewatched it.
But again, though, I think the same kind of concept, though, of just in terms of conveying this character. I feel on this, like, they should have like lent more into it. Where I know Lacey Chabert has to maintain the Hallmark, appearance because
they didn't have any chemistry.
Didn't have any chemistry. But I would have seen that maybe her house is a wreck, but also she is just doesn't look all that well put together.
Yeah,
and she just looks a bit more dour. And when she goes in, the place is empty. And then you could have a little thing at the end where like, oh, they got the money to get this guy out of jail, or they got the bail for him. And then you can have Craig Robinson, like, his heart grows 3 sizes that day.
Yeah, you've got to have,
and then they go, but we can give the money to Lacey Chabert because she's done so much for the town.
Fix her diner or whatever.
Fix her diner and help her out because she's so good with all the people, and we never give her anything back. And there you go. There's a nice, wholesome look. But this is just like, she seems totally fine.
There's no stakes in this.
No stakes. Even when she's going in to tell off, like, the sheriff of the town's like locked up her boyfriend. And she's just going in going like, what the fuck are you doing, you dipshit? Like, she's not intimidated by him at all, even though he's supposed to be the big authority of the town. And it's not like, in A Wonderful Life, going to take on like the guy who owns the bank's like a big scene and stuff. This is just like, oh, you idiot, just let him out, would you? And like the whole town's just like, dude, would you just be cool? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you wasting all our time? Be cool. But why are you wasting all our time? Like, just let him, like, why are you been so petty with this guy? Plus, also, you're locking him up on Christmas Eve. You say we can't get him out till Boxing Day. Are you just letting him starve in there on Christmas Day?
No food, no water, no facilities. Like, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah.
Just throw in some scraps from Christmas dinner. It's fine.
It's kind of like a cab, especially Craig Robinson. I guess it's like, oh yeah, he'll starve you too. And all you do, even at the, like, you want someone to say to him, like, at the end, because when his son's all like, but Dad, he's my friend. And he's like, but he did a bad thing. And it's like streaking. Like, just have someone be like, Craig, or Sheriff, whatever. You and me used to go streaking back and like, what the hell are you talking about, man? You've done this too. Like, and just be like, oh, all right, just make him get over himself. But
yeah, because really, like, what's his crime? The streaking? Because he's already paid.
He stole some stuff, I guess.
He's paid restitution. He's fine. Yeah. They didn't press charges.
Maybe the old lady that saw him streaking said that it was a public service.
Yeah, the implication seems to be he must have the full works, right?
Oh yeah,
because they must have seen it. They must have seen it.
Because they were like, didn't you get like, eyewitnesses that could describe his face? And they were like, she wasn't looking at his face.
Unless
you're meant to be wholesome and be like, well, she was looking at his abs. It's like, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't.
It's
But it is crazy that I say this as someone who liked it. At that point that he arrests him, it's like, oh, for God's sake, come on, we're past this now, man. Nobody cares anymore. But that's his character, I suppose. He's obsessed.
They knock the wind out of that too, because like he has the whole scene where he comes out of the bathroom and he's just like, that's right, I'm here to arrest him, and everyone's like, why are you wearing sunglasses inside? And like, were you just waiting in the bathroom?
How long have you been in there?
Yeah, which is funny and all, but at the same time, this is supposed to be like. Again, this film's like so many other films in that, like, the magic scarf thing is like Last Action Hero with the golden ticket. When you're like, is the guy in Last Action Hero, is he magic? Is this couple magic? That would be more interesting if they were. And then this would also be like, oh, an E.T. When E.T. dies and then comes back to life, it's a big dramatic scene. And this is just like, they're locking him up and he's very visibly dying in the prison cell. But at no point are you ever worried about it. And the cop is just
like, meh. Yeah. Whatever.
He's acting.
Did anybody think that he was going to melt? I did think for a little bit that he was going to melt like Frosty.
Yeah, it's super weird that he didn't.
I thought he might melt, and then it'll skip forward a year, and he somehow comes back.
That would have been a better movie.
Lacey Chabert takes the puddle and tries to craft. She freezes the water and tries to craft a new snowman.
She obviously didn't care about him. He dies.
It's like the end.
And she just walks away. She's like, "Give me that scarf back. I gotta find another man."
Oh, but that's so many questions just about the scarf. So, like, again, in that dressing montage, can he take the scarf off ever, or will it instantly turn him back into a snowman?
That's a good question. He must be able to, right? How's he changing?
Does he have to maintain, like, at least one thread has to be touching his snow flesh at any given time? So he has to, like, really go out of his way to make sure the scarf is on. Because they make a point of us.
He's, like, got it tied around his waist when he's working on the roof and stuff, which is not safe.
But the fact that they're doing that, they're making a point of, like, no, he has to have the scarf on. Again, have the scarf get taken off at one point. And then
when the scarf comes off is when he becomes a real human.
Yeah. Or just, like, have it be a stake thing of, like, oh, we lost the scarf and now he's stuck as a snowman. Someone stole the scarf. If you put the scarf on other things, do they become sentient? Yeah.
But like they undo it all when she takes the scarf off him, he magically and walks away and just leaves his dead body rotting on the street.
I think Liz, I think she made him fully human with a magic Hallmark kiss.
Oh, with the unconsensual kiss? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but he wanted it really.
But he didn't, did he? Because the last time she tried to kiss him, he said no.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought when that happened, I actually liked that moment that he is about love. It's not physical for him at all. In fact, I think she is wanting a bit more physicality, and he's just like, no.
There should be a scene where she's just like, what just sexuality? What are you? Are you Ace? And he's like, no, I'm Ice.
Oh,
there's your tagline right there.
Oh my God, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because he does have ace energy, right?
Yeah. That's all well good. Like, I'm all for these. There's modern films I've seen now that are trying to play on old tropes and portray them in more realistic ways. Like Booksmart has the whole thing like, oh, these are the two geeks, and then they've studied all their lives to get into college, and then they discover like the other kids around them. They're like, no, we're as smart as you. That's just not our only thing. We're like normal people and stuff.
Great film.
I watched a movie just last week with Kiernan Shipka called Sweethearts because it just needed a little rom-com to stick on.
I love her, but I've not seen that.
It's very much based on a kind of When Harry Met Sally kind of thing. So it's like, well, these two are best friends. They're trying to mutually break up with their partners before Thanksgiving, and so it's but the whole time it's just like they're best friends. Will they, won't they, kind of thing at the end. And then they do kiss at one point, and then they kind of have a bit of a falling out. And then the climactic scene is him coming up to her and going, I've thought about it, and I have no romantic feelings for you whatsoever. I just want to be your friend. And she's like...
Incredible.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say
And she
that.
says, oh, thank God. Yeah, me too. And it's just them going back to being best friends. And you're like, yes, I like to see this. Like, it's subverting an expectation. Like, I'm friends with many women, and I was like, yeah, I have no romantic feelings towards them. I like to see this represented in media because it's a thing that can happen no matter what when Harry Met Sally tells you. And so, yeah, they have at the whole point of Hot Frosty was to be like, she really wants to fuck this snowman, but the snowman is Ace/Ice, and she just has to learn to accept that, and she grows to love him beyond that. Well, there you go. Now I'm more interested in what that. You add in a whole thing about the Frankenstein's monster creator who sculpted the thing in the first place. Then we got a movie. Then I'm on board for this whole thing.
Well, I mean, we said it at the start. Even though I liked it, that's the problem, is it doesn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it, you could take up another 2 or 3 notches, and it always holds back. It holds back. Netflix, don't hold back.
Yeah.
Go balls to the wall with this thing.
Except for
This
Craig
is a crazy
Robinson.
concept.
He's already at the top notch. He can't, He can't go any higher notches.
He gets it. He understands what this should
Give
be.
him a more interesting role.
I think
That's the sequel again. He can come back.
that'll be the sequel. Then it'll be like,
Maybe he's the mayor now.
it's the
Oh my
mayor,
God.
or it'll be something where like, oh, Lacey Chabert's gone missing, and then the snowman needs help tracking her down. So Craig Robinson and the snowman are like stuck on like a cross country trip or something.
Yeah, like a buddy comedy.
Yeah, 100% would take that.
I would rather watch that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's got to drive a refrigerated truck to keep him alive.
Nah, he's a real human now. Oh,
And then
maybe
he
every
realizes
Christmas he turns back into a snowman.
And then he realizes he's attracted to the snowman.
I think if they make sequels, that'll be the first thing. They'll have to reverse, like, oh no, we shouldn't have made him human at the end. It should have been, you had to keep him as a snowman, because then what's the dynamic now? Like, it's like when they try to do
a bit like the way they changed it with Highlander 2.
Yeah. Or anytime they try to do anything after, when they made Tangled, and the end of Tangled's Rapunzel cutting her hair. And they're like, oh, we can't do anything more now, because she needs to have the long magical hair. So what are we going to do here now? She's just got the hair again now, because we require that for the story. And they have to be like, no, maybe he was happier as a snowman, and when he puts the scarf on.
He has to find love each year or something
or like
back.
He's the retired snowman that has to go back to being a snowman for one last job.
Oh,
you son of a bitch!
Just stand there in that town square, just with the. I mean, to be fair as well, there's a lot you could do with it, because when he comes to life, he's talking to the other snowmen like they're his friends.
Oh,
so
yeah.
presumably,
maybe we meet the creator comes back and says, "This was supposed to be my award-winning snowman year, and it was ruined.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ruin this snowman's happiness.
Oh my God!
I brought you into this world. I can
it.
take you out of it."
Yeah.
And he can bring to life the other snowmen to help him in his quest to defeat the creator.
And then all the other snowmen are played by, like, John Goodman and stuff, I guess. Like, people who have, like, kind of snowman physiques, I guess would be. Michael Keaton! You bring Michael Keaton back, he's a snowman now.
Crossover, Jack Frost is in it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Michael Keaton remembers that he was in Jack Frost?
Absolutely not. He wouldn't have a clue.
It's like, was that the movie I remember playing a harmonica on stage for a while. That's about the end of it.
I thought that was just a rock star dream I had.
Tell you what, I'm watching it again this Christmas.
I really wish as well they would do, go full tilt meta with some of the stuff and have, like, A Christmas Carol with Lacey Chabert, and she's visited by the hunks of Christmas past.
Yeah.
So it's just the love interest from all her Hallmark movies come in. So it's like Jack Snowman appears at one point. She gets like the love interest from Christmas in Rome pops in, and when the bell strikes one or whatever. And she's like, but Lacey, it turns out she's been playing the same character the whole time. It's like, no, I've always been. Because I think in most of the things she's probably a baker or a chef or something in the town. But I'll say too, like I like the name tags on her on the uniform. The whole like place looked pretty kind of nifty.
Her 50s cafe vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's the kind of cafe I would go to.
But just
but I suppose here in England, when you see a cafe like this, it's a novelty because it's American style. So to us, that's like exciting.
Also, they don't do anything. They just have we have to throw out like a generic job that she does. So yeah, she's a chef. We never see I also just earlier today watched the Andrew Garfield Florence Pugh carousel horse movie, We Live in Time.
I didn't even remember that was a thing.
I think fair play to Andrew Garfield, because the horse made it a meme, and Andrew Garfield was out going thank God for that horse, because otherwise no one would talk about this movie. It was an old fashioned weepy where it's just there's romance, she gets cancer, that's the story.
I'd be in tears with that. Jesus Christ, I cry at the best of times.
But it's a very sad film. But Florence Pugh, also a chef in it. And within the opening scenes, they have a bit of her going out and picking stuff off the trees, and then coming in and making I think she calls it a northern fir remoulade or something. It's a thing she's trying out. You can tell, cooking's a thing that's important to her. It's part of her whole personality and stuff. Lacey Chabert, she's like, yeah, I own a candle place, whatever. She's just a whatever. The cook. There's no scene of her teaching him how to cook. He just teaches her home repair. She never teaches him anything back.
Yeah, but he gets excited when he sees the cooking on the TV, and he goes, "This is what you do."
Yeah, but that's
quite nice because he's like, "Oh wow, okay, you're important, you're special."
But then it would come down to things like, if he's a snowman, can he eat, etc., etc. Maybe it'd have it be that he eats and he just doesn't taste anything, and then at the end
he has to eat cold food, I think.
And then at the end, when he's a human, she makes him Christmas dinner, and he's like, "This is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted." Something nice like that.
Yeah.
But no, they don't. They just kind of just got.
Well, he should be. Let's be honest. He should be eating that. That's what we all want to see.
Well, eat what?
Well,
you dragging this? We're here talking about wholesome Lacey Chabert fucks a snowman movie, John. You're trying to drag
we all want a sexy snowman movie, so you know.
I think Michael Keaton's out there going like, if they wanted a sexy snowman movie, they should have known who to call. Like, I brought Batman back. I brought Beetlejuice back. I can bring Jack Frost back. I can make him sexy.
Time for the snowman, baby. Yeah.
But yes, Hot Frosty. I think it's reaching its target. I think the people who will like this type of thing seem to, you can tell the people who like it is the fact that it has Coldplay playing over the end.
Yeah.
What are you saying
weird.
about me? I hate Coldplay with all of my heart, but I will. You know what? Now, because of this, I'm going to say this movie's 5 out of 5. It's not. It's one of those movies I can't rate on Letterboxd because it's like, well, what do you give it? Do you give it 4 or do you give it 1? I don't know. It's not a good film, but I liked it.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it if I wasn't planning to talk about it with y'all. Like if I just watched it in a void, I don't think I would have made it through.
I think one thing, it has a lot of things in it to make fun of that we've clearly been doing. One of them I meant to mention is that, like, at one point he goes down into the basement and finds like old medical reports talking about, like, her husband's cancer diagnosis.
I cried at that.
The notes on it, the font it's written in, is like something that you put up in like a primary school. Like
it's so you can read it as the viewer clearly, but that doesn't make it any
It's like
better.
the noteworthy font on Apple products.
It's like, no way. And it makes that scene, which is supposed to be a serious moment, of like, her husband, obviously went through a long, painful death, presumably.
I just couldn't get over the fact that they couldn't get an actual man to come stand in a room and take a fake wedding photo with her. They had to do the worst photoshops ever.
It looked insane.
Ever. Did you see her hand in the one upstairs that she looks at? Did AI do it?
You know what? You're probably right. It's probably AI. These days, AI is just in every fucking thing, isn't it? It's,
no, I guarantee it probably that almost definitely was AI that did it. And then they're like, right, it's a cancer diagnosis as well. It's like, there you go.
Well, didn't Netflix get called out for doing AI in some animation they were doing?
Yeah. I think it's happening everywhere. Because I remember it had with Secret Invasion, remember? Marvel brought out, and it was like, oh yeah, that entire opening sequence was AI too. And
that's
like,
ridiculous.
The people don't want it. Don't do it.
Here's a perfect sign that it's happening everywhere, right? There's an old punk band from America called the Dead Boys. When I say old, I mean they were like big at, well, I'm going to say like 79, maybe. They brought out like 2 albums, singer died. They came back with a different singer. Okay, cool. That new singer who's been with them for ages now, like 20 years, he just quit. Because the label said, oh yeah, well, we're going to do this new album and we're going to get the original singer back in AI.
Whoa. What the hell?
And he went, fuck off.
Yeah.
So, but what I don't understand is, right, okay, if it's pop or whatever, yeah, fine. It's a punk band.
Yeah. No, that's
who's accepting that?
That's just insane in general. Like, why would you even pitch that? What do they think he's going to say? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And fair play to him. He just went, you know what? I'm done. Bye.
But like me taking over Netflix and then going to Dustin Milligan, we're remaking Hot Frosty, but I'm getting an AI version of Arnold Schwarzenegger to play this character. Because I personally think it would be better.
Okay, I'm kind of sold on that. Yeah.
But I just want to go back to like so many little things, like we were saying, if they just indicate that the people who gave the scarf, we don't know where the scarf came from, we don't know anything about it, indicate that
that's the prequel. That's the prequel film.
But indicate that they're magic or something. Prequel. I would take a prequel movie of this.
Well, she winks and there's like a magical musical sting.
Yes. So what I would do, she does all that. Yeah, fine, right? At the end, she goes round to speak to them. Like, where did you get this scarf? They're gone.
Yeah.
And people haven't seen them in 50 years.
Yes. I like that.
But then she's like, I had dinner with them. Like, I had lunch every day with them
and
for like 2.5 years.
There's a snowman and a snow wife holding hands in their place.
Oh,
yeah.
Not a dry eye in the house.
Perfect. There we go.
Even better. See, this is again, as someone who liked it, you can improve this movie tenfold.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. There's so much. Just go all out Netflix. Do it next time, please.
Just try.
Yeah. I think that was their thing, is that they did the bare bones, and then they were like, this is enough. I was like, no, you had something. You had a concept. You had the pieces in place. Lacey Chabert is a good actress as well. Like maybe they're like, oh, we can't let her be less than pristine. But I would say she would probably be up for it. Like, oh, I'll do something different. Like,
But there was still other stuff. Have magic then.
Yeah. I
Have
think they just
actual
never
magic.
expected that people would pay attention to this movie. Like, you don't get to 22 holiday movies without just you do every single idea that was written up on the dry erase board.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is done, and you just like rocket through them.
And people come to complain to Lacey Chabert and like, you didn't even fuck the snowman in it. And she's like, I fucked a snowman in like 5 of my other movies. You just didn't pay attention to any of those.
But I want to see I fuck the snowman in this movie because he's hot.
But she's like, I make so many of these things. None of them, just because this one happened to be called Hot
She's
Frosty.
like, which one are you even talking about?
Yeah. Hot Frosty? What the hell?
That could be one of those things. That she's like, I made a movie for Netflix. Like, I don't remember. Like, I'm
I
sure
don't know. I
these
just
are
showed
still
up
Hallmark.
somewhere for 3 weeks and then I went home.
It's like
I get it.
They just put like a little Hallmark sticker over the script. So they just tricked her into thinking it was a Hallmark movie.
Right.
And then she showed up and said there's like all these Netflix signs that have just got Hallmark written over the top of the Netflix part. And then she's like, okay, this doesn't seem sus at all. All right, let's go. I'm in for it.
Speaking of the writing, though, everyone needs to do this, right? Go to Letterboxd. The writer of this film has left it a 5-star review. No, and it's a very good, comprehensive review explaining how it came to be.
It feels now it's like
I
Homer,
have to check that out.
Homer with his parade float. I'm like, oh, everyone shut up for a minute. I got to explain a lot of this.
Basically, yeah. And the writer is open of like, yeah, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But they love it. They love it all the same. And it's very long, but it's very worth your time.
So quick
5
note,
stars.
final note from me because I have to go.
Yeah.
So just so I'm not leaving your listeners hanging, so I would say that you marry the ghost of your organ donor and you fuck the snowman because, again, limited window of time, and then kill the Nutcracker come to life because that's
Because
an
he's
abomination.
scary.
Yeah, that's scary.
I think you can have a little bit of fun with the Nutcracker. You know?
This depends. I guess it depends on what you're into, because you might be like, he's threatening to crack my nuts, so I want to get away from this guy. But other people will be like, oh, do tell.
But
Although
seriously,
obviously
thanks
you do-
for inviting me. This was super fun.
Oh no! But,
No
I mean,
problem
I
at
guess
all.
I'm kind of noted out as well for it. So should we wrap on up at this point? Do we have many other notes?
I'm happy to. Is everyone else good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've said my
Cool, cool, cool.
piece.
We might as well then. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, let's all just... So that is Hot Frosty. I'm hot and frosty right now. Oh my God, yes.
I will also say the entire week in the lead up to this, you'll get this reference, John, at least. I have had the song Hot Topic by Le Tigre stuck in my head.
Oh,
and I want them to record a new theme tune to Hot Frosty, which is just Hot Topic. Rephrases.
Holy
Hot
crap.
Frosty is the way to be loved.
Hell yeah.
That's perfect.
Le Tigre are one of the greatest bands of all time.
I love
so
it.
check them out, people. Queer classics right there. Would our wonderful guests like to promote anything? Are you doing anything? Or if you're not doing anything, are you into anything right now? Jarf, why don't you go?
I'll go. Yeah. Thank you, John. And folks should check out Dream Operators. It was a group project with a lot of your favorite pop culture hosts, a lot of Movies by Minute host. Niall did a great episode with friend of the show, Allison Grimm, and we were covering the film True Stories by David Byrne, one song at a time.
Wow.
Dream Operators.
Incredible. I mean, people, I haven't heard this one yet, but everything Jarf does is good. So check this out. And, and
thank you.
Liz, what have you got anything to promote or anything you want?
I don't really do podcasts anymore, except for apparently movies I hate about snowmen coming to life.
Oh, we do it deliberately.
But if you're in the U.S., sorry, international seller. Okay, owning a business is hard and it's very confusing. I don't know how to do taxes for the United States. I can't figure out taxes and import things. So, but I do drawings and doodles and put them and get them put on clothes and shipped to you My website is ozandbraun.com, and maybe in 2025 I'll figure out how to do it internationally.
Excellent.
If
There
I'm
are
not in jail
companies-
for failing to do business wrong.
There are
Just
certain
melting
companies
away in
now-
jail.
I've seen like services where you can get things delivered to like an address in like America or Japan or whatever, and then they deal with the export.
The way I do it, it's print on demand, so there are printers in Europe that will do it. But I'm just having a hard time with like owning a business and filing paperwork.
I mean, Niall, you know about that.
I did it for many years and I did not care for it. So.
I've never ever done it once because unless you have your own business here in England, your taxes are all done for you. Great. But check that out as well, listeners. We will be back at some point soon we've got more hiatus stuff before we do the next season, I guess.
Yeah, a couple more.
Yeah. And if not, I mean, check out the Patreon. We've always got stuff on there. But have a wonderful Christmas time, a wonderful holiday season, and a happy new year. Bat Minute listeners, Bat Mites. See you soon. I'm trying to think of something. What could we go out with? What's a phrase from the movie? There's not a lot of memorable phrases.
Just believe it. It's Christmas. Yay!
Yay, it's Christmas!
Anything can happen in Christmas.
Including sexy snowman behavior.